Hey guys, how's it going? So thankfully this is not one of those other videos, so I don't have to say the thing I always say and be in character, so not nearly as insufferable, more or less sufferable. So occasionally I will write a snarky little movie review and post it on Facebook, and I decided why don't I synergize those reviews and put them in video form. So that's what this is. I'm just testing out something new. I thought about calling it This Is a Thing You Can Watch, but I know a group of guys who would probably balk at that idea. So I named it this, adding to the pantheon of doing videos with absurdly long titles. Pretty soon I'm just going to have a title that's just a full paragraph. So the format of this is that I sit here and pretend I just watched these movies that I'm going to talk about, just all in a row. But in all actuality, I watched these movies like over a month ago. So it's fake. This is all fake. This is actually a green screen. I'm not in a black void at all. Would you like to see what happens when I put on a green shirt? It's fake. This is all fake. Okay, so this intro is kind of getting away from me, so why don't we just cut straight to the reviews?
Greetings from Transylvania! That's a strange way of saying hello.
Oh, I guess we're gonna have to get used to it.
When it comes to the Addams Family Munsters question, most people want you to pick a lane. And even though I love them both, I always go with the Munsters. Mainly because the Addams Family has successfully transcended itself into different mediums over the years, and a lot of them were actually pretty good. Meanwhile, there's only one Munsters.
TV's monstrously funny family returns.
Oops, you scared me to life.
In an all-new movie adventure for the 90s.
Yes, I'm aware that happened, and this happened. A lot of things happened, but you know what I mean. There's only one good Munsters. It's pretty obvious whatever magic Fred Gwynne, Al Lewis, and that cast had in the mid-60s was all their magic. It wasn't the concept, it was them. Watch this particular scene with Fred Gwynne as Herman, and you'll see what I mean.
The lesson I want you to learn is it doesn't matter what you look like. You can be tall or short, or fat or thin, or ugly, or handsome, like your father. You can be black or yellow or white. It doesn't matter. What does matter is the size of your heart and the strength of your character.
This is the perfect performance of a character that was perfectly sculpted to fit one particular actor in a particular show with a particular tone at one particular time. I'm sorry, but you don't got Fred Gwynne, you don't got Herman Munster, so you don't got the Munsters. We really need to just accept that. I really don't know why both of these things that seem so similar are so different, but they just are. Nevertheless, I really didn't want to be one of those voices, those internet voices, when it comes to this movie, because I was really actively pulling for it. Zombie is a fan, and I thought, hey, why the hell not? And while I really want to be on the side of folks who like to point out to naysayers, hey, it's supposed to be corny. Did you see the original show? Duh! Which is true, but that original show also had a lot of heart, which aside from laughs, is really the most important ingredient when it comes to the sitcom equation, and it's where Zombies film is sorely lacking. It's not the people playing these parts, it's not the fact that it's not in black and white, it's the script! And also the approach as well. Oh, and also the fact that it's not the Munsters! This feels almost like a sort of 1990 Fox made-for-TV movie aesthetic, which I get is a homage to Munster Go Home and to its TV heritage, but for God's sake, man, elevate it to something greater. Once again, the Addams Family transcends, as that new Wednesday show on Netflix seems to understand that you have to make some attempt to update your property to adapt to the times and appeal to new audiences. I mean, hell, you might as well dig up the Halloween That Almost Wasn't from 1979 and just drop that on Netflix.
Igor, you did it again! How many times do I have to tell you? Keep my tomb door open at night, closed in the day.
I don't see a huge call for that sort of thing, outside of, well, me. But in the case of the Munsters, I really wanted more than just a cute, kitschy callback. I kind of wanted this to live on, despite the fact that, well, it can't. I know a lot of folks are going to focus the blame on this squarely at Rob Zombie, and probably continue to throw gross memes and jokes at his wife for reasons I still don't understand. But the real culprit here, if you ask me, is Universal. Personally, I've always seen the Munsters as sort of a brother-sister series to the Universal Monsters. Now as we speak, they're giving the Monsters a theme park in Orlando, which will ensure that those films live on for decades in the minds and hearts of young people everywhere. Meanwhile, they just hand the Munsters over to some guy and allow him to make a home movie with his wife and his friends for $100 in Romania or wherever. I understand Zombie making a schlocky love letter to a show that he loves when he was growing up. I mean, that's his thing. But I really don't understand a parent company who allows that to happen. The first Family of Fright deserved better. And maybe I need to calm down and just accept my own truth. There was and will only ever be one Munsters. Darn, 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 darn.
Darn, 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 darn.
It's been 4 years since Michael Myers vanished without a trace.
Yes, hi, I'm Twitter, and you obviously don't understand this movie. In 20 years it'll be rediscovered like this masterpiece. Or over there, depending which way I put it. Hi, I'm Facebook, and the filmmakers here have ruined the mythology of Michael Myers forever. The long-awaited fight between Michael Myers and Jamie Lee Curtis was a huge wet fart, and it's all your fault, Danny McBride. Seriously, you, Kenny Powers. Hi, I'm a total crazy person, and I've collected enough signatures to have this entire film remade. If this is in fact a real article, and not just clickbait, made up to make both sides of an argument fight even harder and distract from the real crime, the chili cheese burritos are damn near $3. But by all means, don't touch the minimum wage. I mean, obviously, it's fine. Hi, Jimmy again, and this movie has been out for weeks, and we're still talking about it? Why? There's literally nothing here. It's a weird day when a Halloween sequel actually draws this kind of debate, or any debate, or deep conjecture whatsoever. It's almost become a political thing at this point, or like what the internet tends to make into a political thing. But there's nothing here that falls into that category. Nothing that Twitter would label as problematic, and nothing that YouTube would label as, God forbid, woke. Sidebar, if they had made the granddaughter character the Corey character, I think I would have actually liked that more, and that would have actually been more on point with what the previous films were setting up. I think a female antagonist would have been more interesting, but instead we got this. Just in case you need to know for context, I'm not a hardcore Halloween fan. 4 is probably my favorite, yes, even more so than the original. I don't dislike Carpenter, he's made some absolute bangers, but I'm not really an uber fan either. I think most of his classics that you probably love are kinda snooze fests, actually. Yes, and that includes this one. But please don't hate me. I feed stray cats in my parking lot. I promise I'm one of the good ones. Honestly, Michael Myers was just never really my guy. As I'm writing this, I had to Google whether it was Myers or Myers. I'm clarifying that so you know that I'm not one of those people who just wants all the Halloween films to be the same and is disappointed that Michael is old and tired and not constantly awesome in this. That's not a deal breaker for me. Also, I've seen the final confrontation between Michael and Jamie Lee 5 times already, so if you were disappointed in that aspect, I really don't know what to tell you. Personally, I'm just not sure what I really wanted out of this film. In retrospect, the 2018 movie really mined everything you could out of this concept, and kills and ends are kind of proof of that. They're pointless. I still think H2O was the better ending for the Laurie character, despite Josh Hartnett's haircut. But that's the beauty of the Halloween films. It's a choose-your-own narrative direction at this point. The idea of throwing out the sequels worked fine for the 2018 movie, but now it's starting to grate on me a little as these films have taken up a preposterous air of self-importance. Is Michael merely a man, or is he an indestructible boogie person? Is he a metaphor for the town of Haddonfield, or does he represent something horrible in all of us? Oh my god, it's all so heady. I'm about to fall asleep just thinking about it. And I know that some say Halloween Ends is bold and takes the films in a new direction, but in general this movie isn't doing anything that any other horror film hasn't already done. The kill for me angle is kind of played out. Freddy did it, Jason did it a few times, so nothing here that's revolutionary other than the idea of closing a trilogy with a personal story with different main characters, which feels weird to me, and is yet another chapter in the let's throw a trilogy together handbook that seems to just be the way you do things nowadays.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
For me, and let me stress that, for me, Halloween Ends is a dreary slog, and I just spent numerous minutes talking about it. That's far too many minutes. But keep arguing, Internet. John Carpenter counts the money either way. So yeah, Michael really wasn't my guy, but Pinhead, while still not exactly qualifying, was definitely more in the ballpark for me. Although in this version, he's not a guy at all, and thankfully no one seemed to be too upset about that. I guess we've got that going for us. By the way, look at how misleading articles can be just to get clicks. Doug Bradley has been nothing but gracious about the new film, but clickbait still finds a way to make look salacious. Jesus wept. First of all, my favorite Hellraiser movie is... pausing as some people stop the video and judge me harshly. Remember, I feed stray cats. So new Hellraiser is pretty on par with the original Hellraiser. The first hour really creeps along as we're introduced to a bunch of reprehensible human characters, all engaged in generally sick human only to get absolutely wrecked once the Cenobites show up in the second hour. Pretty much what the original film does, so I can't really fault this one for being slow in places. It's just part of the pedigree. New Pinhead is pretty cool, and Jamie Clayton does an admirable job, and the other Cenobite designs are pretty cool, and that's really what I'm here for. Pinhead and friends looking gnarly while standing around in darkly lit rooms until the chains start flying. Yep, pretty much my jam. The score samples from the original Christopher Young themes, so I'm totally on board for that. Not a whole bunch to say about this one, and compared to Halloween, this one doesn't seem to have generated much conversation online. It's one of the better horror remakes out there, which granted isn't saying a whole lot, but if they make another one and it's streaming on my TV, I'd watch it.
Oh yes, we have such sights to show you.
Hey, she said the thing! Hey everyone, she said the thing! So Michael's not my guy, Pinhead's not my guy. Who exactly is my guy? Well, I actually had the pleasure of meeting him, albeit very fleetingly, at Scarefest in Lexington last month. My guy. Robert Englund. I've been Team Freddy since I was a 10-year-old and saw Dream Warriors at a sleepover. I sat in the other room because horror movies seriously gave me the heebie-jeebies. I was scared of everything, as my mom always reminds me when I post about Halloween on Facebook. But I was eventually coaxed into the room to sneak a peek, and it was the nurse scene. From that moment on, I was a Freddy guy. I was 10. Can you imagine? It was a real quick interaction like these photo ops usually are. I had my glove with me, so he was like, let's be a couple of cool guys together. It was quick, but seriously, it's a moment I'll never forget. Scarefest was actually pretty cool, and I got to meet a Facebook friend of mine, Corey Holliday, who runs Vile Consumption. Luckily, someone was there to snap a picture of us. Corey does great designs that you can check out here on the Facebooks, and I got some of his Murder Comics trading cards. Let's tear into these and see what we got. Alright, so I'm going to start with Series 1. Alright, so Series 1 is Monsters and Madmen. So we've got Jason, Chatterer. Love the Chatterer. The Creeper. Wolfman's got nards! Opening Series 2. Series 2 is Heroes and Anti-Heroes. So let's see what we've got here. So I'll just go through a few of these. We've got RoboCop. We've got Ugg that hunts the critters. Snake Plissken. Nothing personifies hero more to me than Elvira. And we have Julius, who gets his head punched off in Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Manhattan. What an awesome inclusion. And one more pack of Murder Comics cards. This is Series 3, Slashers and Stalkers. Ghostface. Babyface from Happy Death Day. Harry Warden from My Bloody Valentine. Daddy from People Under the Stairs. A lot of cool inclusions in here, not just the ones you'd expect, but a lot of one-percenters that are really cool to see in card form, so I love these. They're amazing. Again, you can visit Vowel Consumption on Facebook and find links to order these cards and other cool shit. So I hope you guys like the new video format, and go down in the comments and tell me other movies that I should watch in case I do this again. Okay, see you next time. Bye!
A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. Freddy's just around the corner.